was a lame way to end that one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monster Territory, brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Catcher interference to end the game tonight. You know, this one had a bit of a postseason feel to it tonight. Was I the only one that was feeling that in the air? I mean, anytime you're in Philly, a good chance it could feel like a postseason game with all the success they've had. But this is a close one here tonight. You got two guys that have had a lot of success in the past. Zach Wheeler, obviously, more success in recent years. But Walker Buehler, right? You know, striking out. Alex Verdugo last year to win the World Series. And, you know, these are two guys. They have the competitive juices inside of them. So it had a bit of a postseason feel, if you ask me. And like I said, this is a tough one here tonight. And I'll give the Red Sox credit for getting to Zach Wheeler here tonight. I think a lot of us were coming into this one thinking, oh man, do we even put this one on the tube here tonight? Do we even watch this one tonight? Do you maybe go watch some WWE Monday Night Raw? You know, maybe that was a better thing to watch. You're thinking maybe coming in, but no, they got started here pretty quickly tonight. And Walker Buehler, this guy was great here tonight. Very solid. I mean, my goodness. 7 innings, 1 earned. First start where Walker Buehler's gone 7 and 1 earned since April 21st against the White Sox. I mean, obviously, he had a lot of bumps here over the last couple of months, but he's really been trending in the right direction here. I still don't think that means that the Red Sox shouldn't go out there and go get someone to really fortify the top of that rotation, but nice to see that Buehler, you know, stepping up in a big game here against the Phillies. And this was a winnable game here tonight, in my opinion, even against Zach Wheeler. Like I said, didn't feel like it coming in really, but you know, they put themselves in a position to win this one tonight, and they just couldn't come through. A couple of moments tonight that I'm going to get into here as we break this one down. But again, with Wheeler tonight, you know, making him work, hitting mistakes, you know, hitting some tough pitches off of him too. It wasn't like, you know, he just left a couple of mistakes over the plate. Like, no, they were hitting some pretty tough pitches against him tonight. So credit to some of these guys in the lineup that were able to do something. Overall opportunities, though, you know, not amazing. You know, they were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, but that's where I'm thinking here. The Red Sox, they needed to do a bit more against this bullpen, right? This Phillies bullpen, I mean, there's a reason they're going out there this deadline and they're looking for bullpen help. That's why they brought in, you know, David Robertson, right? And who knows, maybe they go out there and add another guy, but that is something the Phillies have been trying to shore up here. And if there was a time, you know, to get to this Phillies team here tonight, it was against this bullpen. You did it. You did what you could against Wheeler. It's unfortunate they couldn't come up with some. They couldn't come up in some key situations, right? Not even, you know, just getting a base hit late in the game, but certain situational moments that I'm going to get into here. Overall, you know, Whitlock, Chapman looking great. Unfortunately, Jordan Hicks, this is what you're going to get with Jordan Hicks, in my opinion. This is a guy where, in a way, sort of like Greg Weissert, when he's on top of his game, when everything is going well, mechanics are in check, tempo's good, he's feeling good, this guy can go out there and dominate. But this is one of those games where it just didn't look like he had it out of the gate here. You know, were there really many other options? In that spot, I mean, could you have gone with perhaps Greg Weissert? I'm not so sure about that. You know, Greg Weissert, he's been a little bumpy himself as of late. So, I mean, you know, what do you do in that situation? If it were me, I would have gone with, I just realized, I'm so sorry here in the chat. I just goofed this up. Hold on a second. My potato brain getting the best of me here tonight. If you are live with me, thank you in the chat for letting me know. The Phillies won tonight 3-2, not the Red Sox. That's just me being hopeful. But I would have gone personally with Garrett Whitlock for another inning. The last time Garrett Whitlock went multiple innings, it didn't go very well. He looked really good here tonight, striking out the side. I would have gone with Garrett Whitlock for another inning. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if anyone else out there felt the same. That would have been the spot for me. When a guy is looking that good, I get it. You got some tough matchups. You got the rest of the series to worry about. You got the Dodgers coming up here. I get it. Maybe you don't want to burn through these guys, but I mean, my goodness. Whitlock, he threw what, 12, 13 pitches tonight, striking out the side? I would have stuck with him, at the bottom of the order. I mean, I get it, that you would have, if Hicks was the next guy up, you would have had to go with him against the top of the order if the Red Sox weren't able to score. But it's like, I'd rather give you another chance to try and put some runs on the board. That's just me. That's what I would have done, honestly. But what do I know? I know there's a lot of things at play, right? Overall, just a tough night. Tough night, but it's weird because you just thought, coming in, you didn't really think you had much of a chance anyway, but they put themselves in the position to get it done, and they just couldn't get it done, especially against a Phillies bullpen that has been pretty up and down this year. It is what it is. I will say, the catcher interference thing to end the game, I could see some people out there thinking, oh, no, man, that's a cheap way to end the game. But looking at the rule, I did want to touch on this really quick. Looking at the rule on MLB.com, the batter is awarded first base if the catcher or any other fielder, I wonder what kind of a situation that would be. I can't even think of another situation, but interferes with him at any point during a pitch. It was a check swing. It didn't look like he was fully committed to making a swing, but it says right here, if the batter is interfered with at any point during a pitch, it is what it is. And Carlos Narvaez, I mean, this guy's been amazing for the Red Sox this year. Unfortunately, he's had a couple of moments here where he's gotten into some catcher interference situations. And there's been a couple of situations where he's goofed up a little bit. You take it, right? There hasn't been like a ton of these with Narvaez, but it has happened along the way. Unfortunately, it just came at a terrible moment here tonight. But even with that, I mean, with the way Hicks was looking, I mean, let's say the Red Sox, let's say that didn't happen. I mean, a good chance I would think the Phillies, they somehow find a way to get the job done. It is what it is. It is what it is. But let's get going here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to break this one down. We're going to talk about Walker Buehler. We're going to talk about the offense. We're going to talk about the end of the game. And we'll talk about tomorrow's matchup, Game 2. So, everyone in the chat, if you can, just hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new, if you are just finding us for the first time. Before I get started, though, we got bills to pay. We got to keep the lights on. I'll be right back.
Kratz, what do? I'm in a bind, and I need to make some food at home. I would like it to be home cooked, but I don't want to deal with any of the grocery crap.
HelloFresh, get it done. And they'll start to know when you're in a bind, and they'll figure it out for you, sending something new whenever you order it. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is. And there are dozens of menu items to choose from each week. They can also help you out if you need a little assistance. They can kind of cater to what your needs are or what your preferences are. They'll do a little Q&A session for you, and then you can be the star at home. Kratz is a superstar dad at home for his HelloFresh expertise. And if you want to get involved, then you can make sure that your summer is more enjoyable and delicious at HelloFresh.com/FT10FM. Get 10 free meals with a free item for life when you do that. HelloFresh.com/FT10FM. One per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
Well, let's get to it here, shall we? And, I was going to talk about the offense first, but I'm going to talk about Buehler here. Let's get to Buehler first because he looked really good here tonight. Obviously, it's a negative ending for us Red Sox fans, but let's at least start off with something positive. Buehler was very good. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 Ks on the night, going with 7 different pitches. This is what Buehler does. He just throws a ton of different pitches every single time. However, tonight he mostly leaned on the breaking pitches, slider and the knuckle curve here. Curve was looking pretty good here tonight. It was looking pretty juicy, if you ask me. Got 3 whiffs overall in the curve, got a couple of strikeouts, and he got a couple of those strikeouts towards the end of his outing. Looked like it had a little bit of an extra bite on it tonight. He threw a lot of strikes. He was in the zone 58% of the time. He looked smooth. He looked loose. I think he's been working on some stuff in between his starts mechanically. he just looks more comfortable over the last few starts. And tonight it looked like just everything came together for him tonight, especially against the lineup where, and we talked about this last night, where the Phillies lineup towards the bottom, it's very top heavy with that lineup, but he was able to navigate, he was able to navigate very well here tonight. Ran into a little trouble in the fourth inning. Harper with the double, Castellanos, Real Muto back-to-back base hits. They made it 2-1, but he settled down after that. Sat down 11 of his last 12 batters. I mean, overall, just a great night for Buehler. I mean, this is the best he's looked. I mean, the last couple of starts here, I mean, it's been a little bit, man. He was getting tagged, right? Go back to that Mariners game, go back to the Yankees and the Bronx. He was getting lit up, and he was just having a lot of trouble. But he's starting to look very good over his last few starts. Again, still not comfortable with the top of the rotation. I still want I get it. It was the Phillies tonight. Very good team. He did his job here tonight. But I'm thinking postseason, and I would like to add one more guy that you know is going to keep you in the ball game for the most part. So let's see what ends up happening. And I did see in the chat from Just Neffy, Robbie, do you think you'll do a Red Sox trade predictions video? Absolutely, I will be doing that. We got a lot of content coming out, not just here on Monster Territory, but over on my main channel. Don't forget, usually on the main channel, I'm talking about all teams in Major League Baseball, and that obviously includes the Red Sox. So, even if I don't talk about something here, if you want to go see some thoughts over there, I will definitely be talking Red Sox over there as well. But I will definitely be putting out a couple of things when it comes to predictions, mainly just focused on the Red Sox. So, I'm going to be coming up with a trade deadline wish list. I would like to have that out at some point this week. And that would be pretty nice. But definitely got some main channel content coming out as well. But let's move on here from Walker Buehler. Let's move on. Let's get back to the offense. And again, it's kind of one of those things where, like I said at the top of the show, coming in, you're thinking, oh, man, I mean, do we even watch this one tonight? Do we skip this one here tonight? Well, I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you felt like that coming in, but they got off to a red-hot start. Jarren Duran, leadoff home run, fastball right down the middle. This is one of those times with Wheeler where you got to capitalize on a pitch like that. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of chances against Wheeler, and Duran, he was able to come through there. Dave Dombrowski was watching that one. He was watching. Listen, the Phillies, they could be a fit for Jarren Duran if a trade ended up going down. Like I've said with the Phillies here, they could use a bit more extension in that lineup. You put Jarren Duran towards the top of their lineup. I mean, I could see them being interested in that, right? I think even today, who was it? Someone put out there today, it might have been Jim Bowden, take him with a grain of salt, but I think he mentioned the Phillies today with Jarren Duran. Another outlet put out there today, I think also connecting Duran with the Phillies. We'll see. I mean, the Padres have been the main team that always gets brought up with him. But look out. I wouldn't be surprised if the Phillies got in on the mix. Zachary, you're saying here, who would we get from the Phillies? I mean, that's interesting. Everyone's going to say Andrew Painter. I just doubt it. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Dave Dombrowski is going to give up one of the top pitching prospects in the game. I don't know. I mean, that's the I mean, would you maybe look at someone like Aiden Miller, a right-handed bat infielder? I could maybe see something like that, possibly. I don't think you're going to get Painter. I don't think that. Do you do something maybe with like Aiden Miller, one of their higher-ranked pitching prospects, possibly? Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on. Second inning. This is where you started to, throughout the night, not able to capitalize on certain situations. Second inning, steady with the base hit. He stole second, but then Narvaez leaving him stranded. Shout out Marcelo Meyer. Holy cow. His defense tonight was fantastic. And again, I'll get back to deadline possibilities here. And I've talked about this where with Marcelo Meyer over at second base more often now, he's going to get starts at third if Bregman needs a day off or whatever it may be. Meyer because of his defense at second base, I am a lot more comfortable with the Red Sox going after a guy that can induce a bit more of the ground balls. I'm not saying you have to go after a ground ball heavy kind of a guy, but someone like Merrill Kelly, who's in the 60th percentile when it comes to ground ball percentage. I think that's a pretty good fit right there. So I think you are going to see some much better defense here in the second half overall, especially in the infield. Defense has been an issue with the Red Sox this year, but with Meyer at second base, I feel a lot more comfortable. We'll see. I mean, not a great night overall for Meyer at the plate, but he made some plays here tonight. Very good. Marcelo Meyer looking amazing. Third inning, not able to capitalize here. Toro with a double. He wasn't even sure if it was going to land fair. He's got a few hits here over the last couple of games. This guy's fighting for his job right now. Duran got hit by a pitch, so he had runners on first and second. But Bregman with a double play, Roman with a K. Not a great night for Roman Anthony overall. I will get to a positive with him in just a second. But 4 strikeouts on the night for Roman. Not very often you see that. But again, it's Zach Wheeler. When you're going up again, and the same thing for Marcelo Meyer. I mean, that's why I'm not gonna rag on these guys where they're going up against like a guy like Zach Wheeler for the first time in their career. I mean, my goodness, I can't even imagine what they were even thinking up there at the plate. So yeah, I mean, not great nights for them offensively, but Roman, we'll get to him in a second, but it's Zach Wheeler. He's one of the best in the game. 4th inning, Seti with another base hit, but he was caught stealing second. 6th inning, Bregman base hit off the glove of Kemp over at third base, and this is where Roman came through, really showing his ability even against a guy like Wheeler. Cutter inside, very good pitch in on the hands, but Roman just turned on it, man. That's a tough pitch. A Wheeler cutter inside on the hands like that, and he just pulled it for just a good solid hit. So again, 4 strikeouts, but Roman's still showing you why this guy's going to be really good. Trevor Story with the base hit. That was another very tough pitch. Sinker down and in. I mean, it's like, how do you even hit this one, right? That was a base hit. They ended up getting a run in. But Wilyer, Seti with the K. Right? You got to capitalize there. Got to capitalize. And then the bullpen. Bullpen. This is where, again, I'll say it one more time. Sure, Wheeler, you got to take your chances against him while you can. But this bullpen, I know they got some good arms there. I mean, they got some good arms in this bullpen. But again, when you look at the results, they've had their ups and downs. They got nothing off of Banks. In the 7th inning, Story with the base hit off of Kerkering. And that was it. 9th inning, Matt Strom came in. I'm sure Jared Carabas felt pretty good about that one, if you know what I mean. Narvaez with the walk. And then Ref Snyder, he pinched hit for Toro, but he struck out. Let's get to the 10th inning here. This is my main gripe of the night. And I know a lot of people out there are going to think I'm always picking on Duran. I see people in the comments all the time, people saying, like, I want Duran off the team. That is not what I'm saying at all with Jarren Duran. But there are times where I got to bring up something with him defensively, where he seems to always be in the middle of something. I think Duran is an electric player, and it's very hard to replicate what he does, the speed that he brings, the dynamic player that he is. It's very tough to replace him. But when I'm looking at overall results, I'm looking at Roman, who, I think we can all agree. I think no one on this planet is going to say Roman needs to be outside of this starting mix. I think we all agree Roman needs to be starting every day. Said he needs to be in center field every day. Wilyer Abreu, he leads the team in home runs and his defense in right field. That's very hard to replicate. So if I'm looking at the odd man out, it's nothing on Duran. I think even if he ends up getting moved, I think that team is getting a really good player. Unfortunately, I'm just thinking with the Red Sox here, I know it's nice where you could have that depth and, you can have guys kind of working their way in, but at some point, I don't know, man. Again, I'll say this as well. If there was a guy to move, I would probably move Massa. But I've said this before too. I don't think that's going to happen because the contract is going to be too tough to move. I think the Red Sox are maybe hoping a team will come calling. Maybe. but I don't think you're not going to be able to move him. You're stuck with him unless you DFA'd him, and I don't see the Red Sox doing that. I've said this a million times. I don't need to keep saying it again. So that's where, unfortunately, I turned my eyes to Duran. And, people are still going to say that I can't wait to get rid of the guy. I can't wait. No, it's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just looking at the logistics, and when I'm looking at the results, that's kind of where I'm at. Again, if he ends up getting moved, I think a team out there is going to benefit greatly. But this is where I do have to bring up Duran in a negative light, where the 10th inning here, you got the ghost runner on second. Fourth pitch, striking out. Or sorry, not strike. He ended up striking out. But the fourth pitch in this AB, 94 right down the middle. I'm thinking listen, you're not going to see my doofus self go up there and do anything with that. But with Duran, 94 right down the pipe. You got to put the bat on the ball. I don't know what happened there. Fifth pitch, strikes out on a cutter way outside. So I'm not sure what happened there. Honestly, I would have loved a bunt. Why is it? I don't know. I know a lot of people say this is, you don't bunt, but if I'm looking for a time to maybe lay one down, and with a guy like Duran, with the speed that he has, and maybe he could even beat it out, that's a situation where I'm going to bunt. That's just me. This is the situational hitting where this is where these moments count. In the overall scheme of things, these little situational hitting moments, they're not going to pop up on the stat sheet. But when it comes to winning close games, they can really matter. Lay down a bunt right there, you move the runner over, and maybe something else can happen there. But he strikes out, and again, 94 right down the middle. I don't know what I'm guessing he got fooled on it, but just a tough AB right there. Tough. He did have the home run, so you're not even in this situation to begin with without Duran anyway, but you're just hoping for a little something right there. Bregman, he moved the runner over. He got Refsnyder over to third on the ground ball. Ball hit to Turner's left. And then, but then Roman with his fourth strikeout of the night. So, couldn't come through. Again, getting back to the bullpen here with the Red Sox. Chapman, he came in, had some lefties coming up, so they brought him in for the 8th inning. Edmundo Sosa did pinch hit for Bryson Stott. He got a base hit, but he got Turner, Schwarber to fly out. There was a wild pitch over to Harper, so Sosa ended up moving this up to second base, but, Chapman, 100 miles an hour on the fastball, striking out Harper. Nothing you could do there. And again, I'll bring this up with Garrett Whitlock. He looked so good in the 9th inning. My goodness, his changeup and slider were diabolical. You couldn't do anything against these pitches. He struck out Castellanos on 3 pitches, a nasty slider. Struck out Real Muto on 4, nasty changeup. Struck out Marsh on 6 pitches. He had a 13-pitch inning. I'm thinking to myself, that's kind of like you get back to Buehler, right? And 6th inning, I believe he was at 80 pitches or roughly around there. He's looking good. He puts him back out for the 7th. Why not have Whitlock go out there for another inning? It's the bottom of the order. Even if you end up losing, at least you buy yourself a few more ABs to maybe try and make something happen. I can see the argument for not going with Whitlock in a multi-inning situation. The last time that he was in one, it wasn't very good. I believe he gave up 4 earned runs in an inning and a third or whatever it was, but he looked so good here tonight. I don't know. Maybe the Red Sox just want him to be focusing on just 1-inning stints. I'm sure the numbers point that he has been better in those situations. But if I'm just going by feel, if I'm calling an audible on the spot, I'm sticking with Whitlock for the 10th inning. If you gave up a hit or a walk in that inning, then no. I'm cool with going with someone else, but he dominated. 10th inning, you bring in Hicks, and I'll say this, I just didn't feel good about it when he came in. All these years watching the Red Sox, I seem to have a bit of a sixth sense. Sometimes I'm wrong about it, but I just didn't feel good about it for some reason. I don't know. He walked Kemp, intentional walk to Kepler to load the bases, and then catcher interference to end the game. Like I said at the beginning of the show, actually, I don't remember if I even mentioned this at the beginning. Maybe I did. But Rob Bradford, he put out there, pretty fun stat. Only one time since 1920, I believe. Maybe 1921, 1920, whatever. Only one time has there been a game decided by catcher's interference where he had a walk-off catcher interference. August of 1971 with the Dodgers and the Reds. It's a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Very rare. Very rare. Let's get to game 2 here. Before we do, though, we do have one more word from our sponsor tonight. I'll be right back. I hit the wrong button. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We do have one more word from our sponsor. I'll be right back.
Hey, let's do a little player spotlight thanks to Arena Club. AJ, give me a player this season that you think is underrated and you might want to try and grab his card.
James Wood. I don't know that he's underrated, but Washington Nationals superstar in the making, and the first slab pack I ever opened had him in it. His rookie card, and the value is only going to go up and up and up. And I'm not going to sell it quite yet, Scott. I'm going to hold on to it because after he continues to hit big homers and put up the stats, make all-star teams, it's going to get more expensive for someone to buy for me.
This is his first full season in the majors. Keep that in mind. I think he's underrated. He's on a Nationals team that's meh. Not getting enough attention.
He might hit underrated 40 homers. When he makes the All-Star team this year, they're not going to be underrated.
That helps. He's been intentionally walked 4 times in a game. Anyway, if you want to try and find a Wood rookie card, go check out slab packs on Arena Club. And right now you can get 20% off your first slab pack, or if you just want to go with a card purchase, go to arenaclub.com/FOUL. Use code FOUL. If you buy, sell, trade, collect, go for it.
Alrighty, let's get back to it here. We do have the Game 2 preview, but if you are with us on Nesson, we are out of time. If you want to see the rest of the show, come on over to Monster Territory on YouTube. But people on Nesson, we'll see you tomorrow. But let's get back to it here for Game 2. So another, when you look at the matchup, you're probably not feeling too hot about it. Probably not feeling too hot, but you know, I think you might have something here. There might be something because the Red Sox, they're going to be going up here against a lefty. And you know how the Red Sox are against lefties? You know, let me actually pull up the numbers here. Let's take a look at the numbers. Let's look at this one together, shall we? How have the Red Sox done against lefty? Where do they rank against lefties this year? It's got to be pretty good. Has to be pretty good. Let's take a look. Looking at the numbers. Oh, just like I thought. Just like I thought. The Red Sox against lefties this year. 3rd overall in WRC+. And they got one tomorrow in Christopher Sanchez. Taking a look at the matchup here. Christopher Sanchez, 8-2, 2.50 ERA, 122 Ks. This guy's been very good over the last few years now. And Richard Fitz, he is back on the bump. He looked pretty good his last time out. That's the best he's looked in a little while here. Remember, he came back from a pectoral injury, and he went pretty deep into this one. Not complete game deep, but 5 2/3. That's longer than he's gone over his last several outings. 5 hits, 2 earned against the Rockies. But Richard Fitz, he gets the ball back in Philly. But taking a look at Christopher Sanchez, let's take a look at his last start. Last few starts, this guy's gone at least 7 innings. He went 7 1/3 his last time out against San Diego. He's only given up 3 earned over his last 3 outings, over his last 21 1/3 innings. So they're going to have a tough battle there tomorrow. But again, the Red Sox, you know they're going to stack the lefties. And taking a look here, let's see. I would imagine Duran's going to play tomorrow. I would think he's going to play tomorrow. We'll see. He has had success against Sanchez. I believe he has an extra base hit, has an OPS over 1,300 against him. It's only 3 ABs, but has driven in a run as well. Narvaez has a base hit against him. Seti has a base hit against him. Ref Snyder, he's had a couple of ABs, but he's gone hitless. So I would imagine Romey's going to be in there. Ref Snyder's going to be in there. So they're going to be loading up some righties in this lineup. And then you're going to have another lefty in Jesus Luzardo in Game 3. So coming into this series, I did say, if I'm looking at the series as a whole with how well the Red Sox have done against lefties, I think you have a chance to win this series. So here we go. Let's see if they can win the next 2 back-to-back. It's not going to be easy whatsoever. Taking a look here at the current standings, I believe the Rays lost here tonight. So luckily, no changes when it comes to the overall standings. The Rays, I believe they're down. Last time I checked, it was 7-2 against the White Sox. The Rays have not been playing all that great lately. But Red Sox holding on to the third wild card spot as we speak with a record of 54-48. So, hey, tough loss tonight, but it looks like it's not going to hurt them all that much. We'll see. I mean, the Mariners, they did lose, or actually, how are the Mariners doing right now? They're playing right now against this red-hot Brewers team. They are scoreless in Seattle as we speak. But we will see. We'll see. Maybe this is, hopefully the Mariners can drop that one and everything can just stay the same. So, but everybody, I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. Unfortunately, a tough one here tonight. It is what it is, right? You put out your best. You did the best you could. And they just couldn't come through. I will, again, tip of the cap there. Doing anything against Wheeler is a tall task. And not just hitting mistakes, but they hit a couple of tough pitches off him tonight. Unfortunately, the good outing from Buehler, Chapman, Whitlock going to waste here tonight. Hopefully Jordan Hicks can find his way moving forward. But everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you can on the way out, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. And we'll be back here tomorrow night for more post-game coverage. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.